Dear students of class 9A and 9B, today's points: Teachings of Jesus Christ, Saint Francis Xavier, Roberto Nobili, Role of the Missionaries, and Influence of Christianity. First point: Teachings of Jesus Christ. You know, Jesus Christ was the Lord of the Christians, Lord of the people. His teachings and preachings attracted millions of people of the whole world. And ultimately, the preachings and teachings of Jesus Christ, brought a remarkable change in the system of religion. And so many people of the world, they accepted the concept of Christianity. They converted their religion from Hinduism to Christianity, from Islam to Christianity. So many people of the world, they got their religion converted into Christianity. Now why? Because of the attraction of preachings and teachings of Jesus Christ. The teachings of Jesus was very simple. Why? Because of explanation. And the followers of Jesus Christ, they explained the preachings and teachings of Jesus Christ in a very simplest form. He taught that our love for God should be unconditional and good work should triumph over evil. It also considered love for our neighbor to be very, very important. Jesus possessed the victims of tenderness, compassion, and courage. And he scorned slam, serve and presence. And this pretense is very important. He lived very simply, and he had, sympathy for all, and saw all people as equal. One of the most important work and one of the most important side of the preachings and teachings of Jesus Christ is equality. Equality, love, sympathy for each and every people, and not only that, sympathy for each and every human beings is a very important part of preachings and teachings of Jesus Christ. That's why he considered love. He considered love for the neighbors. That is, he gave importance to it. He gave importance to it, considering love and sympathy for neighbors, and also possessed virtues, tenderness, compassion, and courage. So whatever, qualities he possessed by birth, he utilized it in a very simplest form, and he was very much amiable. He had no, tenacity to misguide people. He always tried his level best to provide his best services for the welfare of the people, for the welfare of the society, so that people must become benefited with the preachings and teachings of Jesus Christ and must become attracted towards his religious concept, Christianity. Since he led a very simple life and encouraged the people of the world to follow up a policy of simplicity, follow up a policy of human love, and antagonize the system of angerness, cruelty. So these kind of things had no place in the dictionary of the Christians or Christianity. That's why Jesus Christ's preachings and teachings were accepted by the people of the whole world, and he became a very popular one throughout the whole world. And next point, my dear students, Saint Francis Xavier. Who was Saint Francis Xavier? He was also a great follower of the Christianity. In light of his extensive, image, a number of missionaries traveled in many cities of the world, and they were actually great Jesuit missionary. Who? Saint Francis Xavier was a great Jesuit missionary who is considered to be one of the greatest missionaries since Saint Paul, and he is known as the apostle of the Indies and the apostle of Japan, for in about 10 short years. Francis did the work of many individual missionaries, spreading the Catholic faith from Goa, Portuguese territory in western India, Goa, over South India, Ceylon, Bengal, Cape of Comorin and Moluccas, Spice Island, Malacca, and throughout the China Sea to Japan, where he died alone except for one companion, a Chinese youth named Antiri. On the Japanese, on the Japanese island of Senasian, waiting for a ship to China. On his journeys, St. Francis Xavier converted hundreds of people, and the impact of his work lasted for centuries. St. Francis Xavier, was was a man of simplicity. He had no ego for anyone else. He had no he was a man of polite nature. Soft voice attracted people a lot, and the period when he remained in different cities of the world, especially Japan, India, Ceylon, Goa, everywhere, he established a number of churches for the spread of Christianity throughout different countries, especially throughout Asia. That's why he became a very popular Jesuit, missionary, and dedicated his whole life for the welfare of Christianity, for the welfare of human beings, for the welfare of society. That's why there was none who antagonized the preachings and teachings of Saint Francis Xavier. Saint Francis Xavier became a very a very well-known person throughout the whole Asia, not only Asia but throughout the whole world. That's why his image is established as one of the greatest missionaries since Saint Paul. And next one, Roberto Nobili. Who is Roberto Nobili? Roberto Nobili, was the first ascetic who tried hard to understand true Indian spirit and tried to preach and spread Jesus Christ's message. He was another one who started preachings and teachings of Jesus Christ from another angle. Why? Because his technique and method was quite different than that of the method and technique of Saint Francis Xavier. And he went to Madurai, the temple city, which was a great cultural center, and started learning Tamil and Telugu along with various Hindu manners and customs. He found very close resemblance between life of Hindu monks and Christian missionaries. He tried to convince the local that he himself was an ascetic, having given up all worldly attachments. But people were not convinced. They thought all, foreigners were unclean, ate beef and drank liquor. That's why Indian conservative people had no faith and no belief. But that very person, Nobili, tried his level best to change that old traditional faith and belief of the Indians. He left no stone unturned to establish the new belief and faith for among the Indian people, that all Europeans were not like that. They also hated drinking alcohol. They also hate drinking alcohol. They hate taking beef. So it was against their nature. It was against their will. So they disliked it. And a section of Europeans, they liked it, but a large number of Europeans, they did not like it, because it goes against the Christianity, the concept of Christianity. And that's why he tried his level best to change the old beliefs and faiths of the Indian people. But later on, he was able to gain faith of the Indian traditional people. And what did he do? He went to South India. He went to Madurai. He went to many important cities of South India for in order to convince the local people uh, uh, so that they must extend their cooperation towards Christianity. But people later on ultimately were convinced by him, and that's why he started wearing ochre colored robes, wooden shoes, gave up non-vegetarian food, and carried danda, means stick, and like the Hindu monks. And he felt some similarities between the Hindu monks and the Christian monks. One thing he realized, that the aim and objectives of both the monks of different religious concepts and different religions were same. That's why he always tried his level best to make an interaction between interaction among different religious monks, and also extended his cooperation towards them. And not only he started wearing gandha, means sandal paste, and shaved his head. He engaged a Brahmin cook, ate only rice and vegetables, and started sleeping on the floor. He spent time studying Sanskrit and holy books, besides writing Christian psalms and prayers in Tamil. That very person, that's why very soon he gained faith of the Indian traditional people. Who was he? He was Roberto Nobili. Roberto Nobili wrote some trees on palm leaves like a Brahmin Pandit, and studied Sanskrit from the Telugu Brahmins. And also Shiva Dharma, who spent days teaching Roberto Hindu philosophy and mythology. He had great interest to learn the concept of Hindu mythology, the knowledge of Hindu books. He gained the knowledge from there. Ultimately, Shiva Dharma himself converted to Christianity. He was allowed to wear the sacred thread with a cross and continue with tuft. This prompted others who wanted to retain the traits of their earlier faith to become Christians and drawn to the teachings of Christians. That's why a great section of people, they ultimately converted to Christianity only because of the preachings and simplest form of preachings and teachings of this religious saint of Christianity, Nobili. And now, what was about the influence of Christianity? The influence of Christianity